All right. Another concept to consider on wax Romans 13 and 7 for the biblically scholarly types. The context for being able to pay religious tribute where customs are for that religious tribute. Whether you're in another country, say in India, and the people that are hosting you or you're meeting up with are observing a specific holiday. The context for you to be able to do that is Romans 13 and 7. Obviously, you're not diverging to their custom permanently for that power's sake or whatever, aka idolatrous, but you are there serving as a friend, right? Being part of the, not necessarily part of the worship, but you're there, right? Because at the end of the day, the idolatry is fake even, right? So if you do believe principles are applicable, you would surely not be correcting people for too many things because at the end of the day, you don't have the authority to, according to even the American laws, right? So we consider even the Salam Alaikum, right, or Islamist cultures recognizing their prophet as a renowned man. We talk about him today just like everybody else in the scriptures. It's not okay. It's not okay to cut people out, right? Because if we're revering one group of people's ideals and thoughts as their own, we can revere another group of people's thoughts and ideals as their own, right? Even though they collectively agree, there's even interdivisionals, just as there's individuals that are interdivisional, the denominations in Christianity versus Islam versus any other thing. I'm, centric, obviously nihilist. I feel like I've gone through the gamut of the three. And on the other end, I see lies and deception, and they all claim to have the correctitude. And there is reality in all of them, right? Let's not ignore that. And let's not ignore that we ought to apply custom where customs do, right? Because there's nothing wrong with that. Even if you have a power, although I believe there's none to declare us at the present time, if there is, and he declares or she declares servitude, I think you ought to, do that thing, whatever it is. Me, I'm gonna try and run away and see if they can apply and make me, because that's how I be. I want to really see if they're a power. If they're a power, they're gonna be able to apply authority. And just I'm up to testing things. That's just how this existence is. Even the social authorities, we ought to test them to see if they're actually as up to snuff according to our own laws and structures, right? So another preachy message. Thoughts on keeping customs places not being idolatrous at the end of the day, because there isn't really any real idolatry to speak of, guys. The whole point of pointing out that witchcraft crap is to point out that, yes, you can go somewhere and keep customs. Yes, you could keep customs yourself. It doesn't make you any more pious or better than another individual. It doesn't necessarily uplift you. It means you have ideals and stuff of that are unique to you or the group of people that you like being a part of, right? Which is fine. Unique culture groups exist. They deserve to exist, which is my point. The eradication or the consolidation or the marginalization of peoples is not necessarily what we ought to do. What we should do is marginalize things that don't support humanity as a whole, that don't create health, wealth, and beneficiality to the uplifting of our organism as a whole. Things that destroy our bioorganism and our bioorganic content and the land and the resources we have access to should be generally rejected. Is that so hard to say? No, that's the preachy message, y'all. So have a great rest of your day.